$99.
This is Wrecker, Hunter, Echo, Tech, and Crosshair.
Obviously, we are different.
We're all you're getting.
We're all you need.
They call themselves the Bad Batch. Experimental Unit Clone Force 99. The defective clones with desirable mutations.
This is one meeting I don't want to miss.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Dad Batch Podcast, Season 3, Episode 101. My name is Stevie Kicks, and I am one of your hosts today. Of course, with us, as always, the other Dad Batchers, your space daddies. First up, in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, he prefers to be the big spoon. It's Brian Cook. How are you, man?
Always. I'm doing great. Always the big spoon.
Right on, dude. Next up, specialty costume fabricator, manufacturer, and painter. It's John Rodriguez. How are you, man?
Hello. Good. How are you?
Good. Good to be back.
Yeah.
Been a minute.
It is. Yeah.
Next up, producer of the smash hit podcast Off the Rack Rebellion. It's Raimi Shanaday. How are you, sir?
I was wondering where you were going with that. Thank you. Good to be here.
Good. And last but certainly not least, he's back from the void and now in the Pacific Northwest. The left coast Avenger himself, Luke Yates. How are you, sir?
Hello. How are we?
Are you doing the whole pod with the Deadpool mask on?
Do you want me to? No, I'll take it off. It's getting unreasonably warm here.
Did you wash it since we came back from
It is I. Yeah, I did. Hose that bad boy down.
You know what? That's actually an interesting question. I have that question for you guys because my kit is still it's open. Well, I want to ask you guys first. How do you guys clean your kits after you've worn it for so long and it gets just full of sweat? It's dripping. Sometimes your kits are leather, right? How do you guys clean it? Brian, you're muted.
I bathe in the waters of Minnetonka.
If it's clone stuff, like it's just like athletic, stretchy apparel, you just wash it, obviously. But if it's like a Mando suit that you don't want it to shrink or get messed up in the machine, you might just do like a vodka water mix.
Mm-hmm.
Vodka and water? Does that disinfect?
Big handle of the cheapest.
Yeah, the worst vodka you can find. Yeah, the cheapest stuff. And
it's a deodorizer.
It evaporates like the smell away.
I one up it too, and I pour a little like an all natural like eucalyptus smell like deodorizer. I mix it with it. Nice. That way it has a nice little smell too. That's how I clean my Vader stuff.
I used to do that with
the
Kylo
shelf,
too.
Nate. Yep.
Yeah. Kylo was all vodka spray.
Yep.
I just throw my costumes away and buy new ones.
Wow,
I like
expensive with Deadpool.
I like that.
I've got some stuff that can be washed, but it can't really go into the machine. So like for those things, I'll literally just put them in the shower and or the bathtub and just use the shower nozzle and kind of hand clean them in there.
Nice.
Otherwise, everything everyone else has said too for other stuff.
Luke needs to burn Deadpool after last 2 weeks because
it got some use. It was getting spicy. We were walking at one point, and there was like a couple in front of me, and I had peeked over their shoulder because I was taller than them, and they were holding their noses as I walked closely behind them, and I think it was me. And I was like, "Wow, I'm the stinky kid at school. This is weird."
But in fairness, you wore that suit like to death.
Yes,
for 2 days or 3 days or something.
Death, yeah, 3.
Like you know how COVID came from a bat.
Yeah,
something came from that suit.
And
I think we all got it Except for
I was
me.
patient 0. Yeah, that's crazy. I didn't get sick at all. I wonder if the
Wonder
mutant
why.
genetic makeup of my suit kept me alive.
My-
repelled
I
everything else.
didn't either,
Yeah.
Luke, and neither did Joe.
Oh, okay.
So,
Oh, so I'm not special. Oh,
my
that's
my wife has
bad.
told me officially that when I go to Comic-Con from now on, I have to take 2 weeks off. 1 week for the con, and then 1 week to just isolate and
crud.
disinfect.
Recover.
Yeah. Because I got sick, and then the whole family got sick because of me.
Oh, that's a
dude.
bummer.
Oh, yeah, I felt bad about that.
I think Luke and Joe were the only ones that didn't. And I didn't
And
get it
Raimi.
bad.
And Raimi.
Oh, Raimi, you didn't get it either. Oh, all right. So half of us. Less than half.
What was
No,
nice though, I mean, this obviously con crud's not nice, but what was nice is that this was the first convention since lockdown, since the pandemic, that was 100% open, no regulations, no nothing, just like the Comic-Con of old. So that felt good.
And
It was
packed?
full of people.
It is
Yeah.
no longer.
I don't know if it felt good, but
It is no
It-
longer.
it
called
was
the Con
Comic-Con.
Crud. It is now the Conrona. That is the new
Conrona.
name.
Corona.
But yeah, that last
Conrona.
day, man, was you guys weren't there, and it was just Joe and Kim and I was like a zombie walking around. I was just like in the crowd, just like I don't want to be here anymore.
there were a lot of activities that weekend. It was crazy. I
So
couldn't
many activities.
It was
believe
busy.
the
Yeah.
activities.
I'm glad that I came home on Sunday because it gave me that like extra day to rest. But then I
Same.
also
Oh,
I
that's
was
nice.
able to take I was able to take the boys to go see Deadpool.
Oh, that's nice.
Okay. So my wife, my wife asks me and she's like, "Hey, did you get Deadpool tickets for us?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, I bought them like months ago." I guess she might have been thinking like when she was saying us, she was referring to just her and I.
Date night. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think that she fully understood that I got the like movie tickets for the whole family, because when I told her that morning, like, "Oh, the boys need to get ready so they can come with us," she was a little confused and it's like,
She's
are
like,
you
wait,
sure
they're
that-
not 27.
Hey, are you sure we're gonna take them to see the movie? And I was like, yeah, it's fine. And I used to watch RoboCop and
I was going to
you
ask
know,
about that. How did the kids take it?
Okay, so first of all, we got to the theater.
Not as good as those TVA agents.
Preface it, yeah.
We got to the theater and the person tearing tickets was like, "These children are over the age of 7, correct?"
Oh
I was like-
man.
I was like, "Uh-huh." And he was like, "Okay." But despite everything that happens in the movie, like all the adult theme stuff, that just goes over the kids' heads.
Yeah. They don't
Yeah, the
And-
humor. Yeah.
Yeah, and by the time we got out of it, out of the theater, they were just like, "Oh, I'm Deadpool. Oh, I'm Wolverine," and they're just
Yeah.
like play fighting, and
They take all the stuff that they're attracted to, the claws and the
They-
the fighting. And
They weren't like, Dad, what's pegging?
no.
Can we go
No.
snowboarding?
Do you want to build a
the
snowman?
devil's dandruff.
It's like, Dad, do you want to build a
Devil's
snowman?
dandruff. Yes. Oh my god.
All right. By the way, this is a spoiler zone. So if you haven't seen the movie, because we are going to talk about it later. If you haven't seen it and you don't want to be spoiled, you're going to have to bounce out of the YouTube. Just a warning.
Yes. This
Fair
is
warning.
officially the
It's been a couple weeks now, so
It's been 2 weeks. I mean,
it's
Yeah.
no longer the Dad Batch podcast. It's the Dadpool podcast.
Deadpool and Wolverine podcast.
I'm
Father
Dad
Dean.
Batch Jesus.
Father
Deadpool and
Pools.
Wolverine.
LFG.
And you know what? Huge shout out to Nato Potato
Yeah, Nate.
for hanging out with us at the premiere on, what was that, Thursday of Comic-Con?
Had everything. He kicked it the whole time. It
Yeah,
was
man.
awesome.
He was living his best California life.
We rolled to the
We had-
prom with him.
We had tacos with Nate.
Hell yeah.
Um
Tacos were good.
Nate was sick.
okay,
cool
so
to hang
last
out with
last time we talked was episode 101 at our live show, and that was on Friday
Wait, this is
of
101.
Comic-Con.
That was
Episode 100, I'm
100.
sorry.
Yeah,
That was on Friday, right? Of Comic-Con.
correct.
And then we went to Mosh
Correct.
How was everyone's mosh? How was everyone's mosh?
Ooh, look at that name tag.
That was my first. That was my first Mosh Isley.
Oh, was it really? Huh.
It was, because I never made it to Star Wars Celebration. I was dead that night. I couldn't even stand up, so I couldn't do it.
Was it old age or was it cold?
That was the
forgot to
East
take your
Coast
Centrum Silver
travel. Yep. Forgot to take all that stuff. It was
Metamucil.
fun. Man, the production that they do there is so awesome. And
It's insane.
got to meet a ton of people I've never met in person. So that was a freaking blast. So shout out to Mosh Isley, man. Those boys do it right.
My favorite part is they give us like new Star Wars. They give us like some straight up dope cinematic Star Wars action. It's so cool.
Shout out to Kiefer and Jason because they did all of that work, and they killed. I'm pretty sure Adam did a lot of work with them too. But Kiefer was rendering up to like the last minute. They're the day of, because I'm in a couple of the chats and where they talk about it, and I'm like, he's like, oh, I'm just downloading this thing now. Like they're sending stuff back and forth day of. I'm like, wow, and then they crush it.
Awesome.
Yeah. The with that Top Gun movie blasted, the music blasted. I was like, oh, Mike is doing what he's wanted to do. I mean, that intro was.
He's on it, yeah.
Splash One, man. Adam and Nick and those guys, they killed it, man. It was so cool.
Can we
shout out to those guys for hooking us up too and getting us out there, and being on stage was hilarious.
Yeah, and hooking up our
last minute.
Let's talk about the stage show.
Yeah, you guys were all up on stage, right?
You guys,
yeah, you made it.
You were there.
You were too, sir.
Yeah, you came in like
reach up.
Straight up hurricane wrecked shop on that stage when you showed up.
Look,
dude, the bubble guns are sick.
I'm used to a certain level. Like my son is now used to a certain level of hotel accommodations. I'm used to a certain level of accommodation myself, and if I don't have a green room pass, I don't feel normal, right? So yeah, when the security guy was like, "You can't go on stage." I was like, what do you mean I can't go on stage?
Me, bro. Yeah.
I was like, look at me and look at everyone on stage. I belong there. Like I'm supposed to be there.
Watch me handle a bubble gun.
No, it's because that was like the area to go backstage. You had to cross that barrier before you could come up. And they're very strict about it.
Steven said, watch me.
Honestly, you know what? Like I had such a difficult time even getting to Mosh, because there's just like a whole hotel thing that I don't even want to get into it right now, but I had such a difficult time just even physically getting to Mosh that by the time that this security guard turned me down, I was like, mentally, I was like, that's it. My night's over. I'm done. Like I've given my 200% to try and like be here and have a good time, and nothing's gone right. This is a sign to just give up. And like I'm literally walking away down the hallway with my head down, and I don't know who it was, but somebody towards the back of the mosh pit like high-fived me. And they were just like, Stevie! And they high-fived me. And I high-fived this guy with like the saddest face that I had. And literally like he slapped the energy into my hand, and at that moment I was like, what am I doing feeling sorry for myself? This dude right here is having the greatest time of his life. I'm gonna do that too. F this. And I like make like an instant U-turn into the back of the mosh pit, and I just like beeline my way to the front of the stage. And I don't know how I'm gonna get on the stage. I'm just like mentally, I'm like, this is happening.
And that moment was really funny. Let me just interject here a little bit, because I had this Swiffer that I was kind of using as an air guitar, and then I was like, when the moments were not adequate for that, I would just start kind of sweeping the stage.
Because you were Push Broom John.
Yeah, dude. So I was sweeping the stage, and I'm looking down, and all of a sudden I just see Steven reach his hand up, and I'm like, oh, and I just like, here you go. Boom.
I look up because I see everyone dancing on the stage, but everyone's on the right side, stage left, and I look up, and there's John, and he's got a broom, and I just like reached my hand up, and I was like,
Yeah.
it was like,
So, dude,
It was like
the broom thing was amazing because John had a hat like Ramey's, like a pilot's military hat, and he didn't want to wear
me
it.
a janitor.
Yeah, he didn't want to
you-
wear it. So hold on. So you wore your like normal hat, and we were like, dude, you look like a janitor now. You don't look like a pilot. And the point is you're supposed to look like a pilot. And I go, I'm off to the side, and I'm like, we got to get John a broom. We got to get him a broom and just hand it to him, and like be like, well, here you go. You're here to clean up. And Kiefer's like, I got you.
Here's the
He
Swiffer.
comes back with the Swiffer, and then you embraced it. You were like air guitaring with it. You clean up.
And you know what's funny though, and also a little side story. When I was after like we had gone on stage a little bit and we came down, I think I dropped a beer on the stairs as we were like I hit the.
So you clean.
Wait. Well, no, and then I couldn't find the Swiffer when we went back on stage. I'm like, where the hell did it go? And they're like, bro, they're cleaning up the stairs right now. Someone dropped a beer, and I'm like, oh, like yeah, okay, that's fair. But that's where it ended up because we like for the longest time we were like, where's the Swiffer? They're like, oh yeah, they're using it.
But you know what? Shout out to all those guys at Music Box. You know what? As much as I didn't like it, I prefer tighter security.
It was good. It was good.
The staff knows us, but you know, just keeping everything in line, keeping everything tight. That's the way to do it.
I must have met at least 20 people that I've never met in person, but I know them through the internet. It was cool.
It was fun.
Super cool.
I got all
Anybody
kinds
watch
of
anything?
Cool, no.
Anybody watch anything this weekend? This week? Since you've been home?
I watched I started watching the director's cut of Rebel Moon.
Ooh. Anything interesting happening in that?
Well, it starts a little different, and there's like a bunch of added stuff, and it's kind of like more brutal. Like they're showing a lot more like murders and stuff going on because there's like a whole war. But yeah, it's like a different movie.
What else do they show? Anything else?
There's a little bit of everything. A little bit of everything for everyone.
I watched 10 minutes of that movie.
Yeah,
and I turned it off.
But the director's cut's like 3.5 hours. So
Jesus,
oh man,
I don't know how far I am, but
this is the Snyder cut that no one asked for.
Yeah,
man, it's so weird.
The Rebel cut. Yeah, I don't know, but yeah, that's and also obviously we all saw Deadpool and Wolverine, but
that's for another.
Yeah, we'll be talking about that later today or later on the show on Hunter's Hard Drive. We'll be changing it up a little bit this season, guys, because Luke's going to be planning on hanging out with us a lot more. He's going to have a new segment that we'll show later. And yeah, we're just going to have fun tonight. We'll just, shoot the breeze, as they say.
They do say that. I've heard that said.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Well,
thank you again, everybody, for tuning in. If you'd like to show your support for the show, pick up a Dad Batch shirt and some stickers at dadbatch.com. Your purchase directly helps to make this show possible. Looking for the thing here. Hey, Ramey.
Hey, Steven.
We're being hailed. This encryption's new. This might take a while.
Okay. Bear with me. I'm juggling like a bunch of stuff here. So, hot off the heels of one convention, what do? We start talking about another one. So, this weekend is Disney's D23 convention. So I've got the website here. We can pull it up. It just heads up like none of us are actually going to be attending the con itself. I tried. Tickets are sold out ridiculously fast. But we will be reporting on whatever news comes out of that. And Lucasfilm did us a favor, and they put together a list of all of the Star Wars related stuff that was going to be going on at D23. So here we go. So we can take a look at this. Let's see. Switch our layout here. Okay. So it takes place this weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So there's going to be the Lucasfilm booth. Going to be very much like what people are used to seeing at Comic-Con, for example. So I do think that they're going to have some new stuff that's unique to this show, though. So they're going to have a version of the volume set up there. So you'll actually be able to go and sort of see the Disney stagecraft or the ILM stagecraft technology in, like, you'll be able to be immersed in it because they're going to have a volume set up there for you to see.
Wow.
So, yeah.
There's not going to be a line for that either. That'd be easy to get into.
Well, we'll see, because they've got scheduled content taking place inside that we'll get to. So they've got the Disney Plus Pavilion. So all of the stuff that's showing on Disney Plus. So expect to see some content there around Skeleton Crew, which will be coming. I guess they're going to get a preview of Skeleton Crew, and there's going to be a photo op that's there for the show. So I don't know what that looks like yet, but I know that they're there setting it up right now. So they're going to be a Star Wars Darkade. So it's located inside the World of Disney exhibit. So you'll be able to test your skills around the first ever Star Wars villains themed arcade for a chance to win some prizes. So now we get into the schedule. So the ILM Stagecraft, they've got an exhibit called the Galaxy of Innovation. So that's taking place. I think it's going every day. We'll see as we scroll through, but I know, like, for example, at 10 a.m. on Friday, August 9th, they've got this exhibit, and you'll be able to learn how you'll get an example, a real live demo of how the volume works. So also late after that, in the Lucasfilm booth, Lego Star Wars Rebuild the Galaxy. So they're going to have some content around that, because that's an upcoming special later this year. So they've also got within the booth Creatures and Droids with Legacy effects. So the folks from Legacy are going to be out there, and you're going to get to see Merly the Lothcat, which I am very disappointed that I'm not going to be there to see. So they'll have him there. They're going to have a Star Wars Young Jedi Adventures meet and greet with Nubs, the character Nubs. So he'll be there. And they've got that night on Friday night, so each night they're doing content at the Honda Center, which is a couple miles down the road. I think they've got like a bus service set up to get from the convention center down there. So on Friday night, it's going to be the Disney Entertainment Showcase. And there are supposedly some Star Wars reveals that are scheduled for that. So, what was somebody saying something? Or
is this the first D23 that's happened in a while?
They do it every other year.
Got it.
So they did one 2 years ago. This one, and I'm sure there was a year they took off there in the middle of COVID, probably.
Yeah.
So because it's been a while since I've gone to one. So Saturday, the ILM Stagecraft again at 10 a.m. in the booth, but then they've got a special at noon with Doug Chang, who is going to talk more in depth about the Stagecraft technology. So when we talk about the volume or the AR wall or what, like, that's all, like, ILM calls that their Stagecraft technology. We've got Creatures and Droids with Legacy again. Manny Jacinto is going to be on site doing a look at the Acolyte. That'll be at 4 p.m. on Saturday at the Lucasfilm booth. And then on Sunday, again, the ILM Stagecraft thing. We've got a conversation with Lucasfilm Animation. So friend of the show, Athena Portillo, she'll be there. She's the vice president of animation production. So her and Vanessa Marshall, who voiced Hera Syndulla in Rebels, will be there talking about kind of their favorite moments from 2 decades of Lucasfilm animation now, which seems impossibly long, but apparently that's the case. The Creatures and Droids effects with Legacy effects again, the Nubs meet and greet again. And then Sunday night at the Honda Center from 5 to 7 is the Disney Legends Awards ceremony. So, and I know as far as they've got the Disney Legends thing is like, it's their induction into sort of their Hall of Fame kind of deal. So, in the past, obviously, like George Lucas, folks like that have been inducted. This year, Harrison Ford, Frank Oz, and John Williams are getting into the Disney Legends. And like, I know at the campus up in Burbank, they've got like a Disney Legends kind of plaza, and they've got their handprints in the wall there. So that's part of it too.
Dude, they're going all out, man. That sounds big. D23 is sweet. If you've never been, it's a good time.
Yeah.
They usually have costumes from everything. I mean, that was the last time I went was when Disney Plus was coming out and Mando was coming out.
Yeah,
we were all there together, I think, and
we were. You could sign up for you could prepay for 3 years for ridiculously
I wasn't
cheap.
there.
which we did.
But I know that you and Steven and I and Nick, we were all signing up in the Disney Plus booth.
They had the
it was
best
$100 or something crazy.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, they had the best activation. Levi and I did it, and she was small, and it was the portals from Avengers, and you walked up and you did a pose, and they superimposed you into Endgame, and you were coming out of a portal, and you were I think I had a Captain America shield, and I was it was so cool. It was so fun.
Cool. Okay. So again, next week we'll probably have plenty of content from the show to talk about, but we'll let everybody know what comes out of it. Speaking of conventions, so we've got some additional Celebration guest announcements. So Alan Tudyk, Manny Jacinto, and Daniel Logan have been announced as guests who will be attending the show, presumably doing autographs and probably even photo ops as well. The new trio joins the previously announced guests, which included Anthony Daniels, Ashley Eckstein, Doug Chang, and Tamora Morrison. So Celebration is 253 days away, in case anybody's keeping score, as we record this, being held in Chiba, Japan, next April 18th, 19th, and 20th. The doors will be open for the show from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. local time each day. As of right now, VIP 3-day adult and Saturday adult tickets are all sold out. But kids' badges of all the different flavors, as well as Friday and Sunday adult tickets, are still available. Kids are considered ages 6 to 12. 13 and older is considered an adult, and under 6 is free with a paid adult ticket. So tickets and more information are available at StarWarsCelebration.com. I'm sure Steph is dropping that link in the chat already if she hasn't already. So
are there tickets available still?
Yeah, like I said, so the kids' badges, everything. You can even get a 3-day kids badge. The 3-day badges are gone from an adult perspective, but the Friday and Sunday adult tickets are still available. So, but there's a ton of stuff to do at the same time. I mean, obviously it's Japan, so there's plenty of things to do. And there's, Disney's got a park there, but also, something that I think is going under the radar as far as what's taking place there at that time is, and I don't know how often they officially do this, but the World's Fair, the World's Fair is taking place in Japan while we're going to be there for Celebration.
Wow.
That's cool.
So
whenever Iron Man's going to show up.
Right. I thought the same thing. I think that the tickets are only $25 a day per adult for that. So
cool.
So I'm planning on trying to check that out too. Okay, let's see. Next up, Star Wars Outlaws. So with the new Ubisoft game releasing at the end of this month, we're getting more information about what players can expect to see as far as additional content after the game comes out. So my notes are a little out of order here, so I'll jump around a little bit, but you can see on the screenshot that I'm sharing here. So we've got some additional content called the Pirate's Fortune, which is going to feature everyone's favorite space pirate, Hondo Ohnaka. The wildcard content will include Lando Calrissian, and then anyone who's purchased the season pass will automatically get both of these extra sets of content, but they can also be purchased separately. On release day, season pass holders will get Jabba's Gambit, which is exclusive content that includes an additional mission from the Hutt Cartel, in addition to the fact that all players will encounter Jabba just in the game, regardless of whether or not they pay for the extra content. So the season pass is included in the gold and ultimate editions of the game, which will retail for $110 and $130 respectively. Those two versions of the game also include a 3-day early release of the game ahead of its August 30th scheduled release date.
$130?
Yeah. So
are they out of their minds?
Yeah. And what I'm not clear on is what with the different story packs, what do you get versus with one versus the other? There's 110 and 130. I'm not sure what the nuance is between the two of them, but
the 130 one is you get the extra Jabba mission, right? And then you have to pay extra for Lando and for Hondo as well.
You get, if you've got either of the two season, or if you've got the season pass, you get story pack 1 and story pack 2, which is the Lando and Hondo content. That's included with both of the gold, either the gold or ultimate editions. So
yeah, you're buying 2 video games though. For that money.
Yeah,
That's crazy. I mean,
Yeah, I don't know
$60 is a lot for a game.
I
Imagine
know
110 or 130.
Yeah, I know one of the other things that you get with the season pass is like there's a character pack that like you can basically wear Han Solo's clothes, which
Wow.
I guess
that's worth $60.
Yeah. I don't know that I've seen
That's rough.
a Star Wars game with that high of a price tag before. So
That's rough.
we'll see how sales on that go. So Star Wars gaming fans with older consoles should be happy by the news that Jedi Survivor is being backported and optimized for the Xbox One and PlayStation 4 consoles. And it's being released on September 17th. So previously, I guess the game was only available on the newer generation consoles. So, Young Jedi Adventures Season 2 lands on Disney Plus on August 14th. So, and we've actually got an official clip from the upcoming season of the show, which I can play here. So stand by.
What'd you find, Nubs? That's a Jedi who was a Poobah, just like you. The Poobah's also in these pictures. They tell a story about a ferocious creature threatening a town until the brave Poobah arrived and drove it away, saving everyone. Nubs! What's in here?
You're right, Nubs. I bet it's the same lightsaber that Stone Poobah was holding. Let's ask Master Yoda.
Adorable.
I'm into it.
We watched that. Yeah, that's a good show.
Yeah,
it's fun.
Nubs is the character that they've got that's going to be at D23. I know that Lucasfilm's got a character costume for
that's cool.
For Nubs, so there'll be a meet and greet with Nubs at the convention.
Nice.
Let's see. So, so just the official season 2 specific synopsis. Young Jedi Adventure season 2 follows the younglings as they continue their training and embark on an even bigger missions across the galaxy. Helping to lead the younglings on these missions is Master Zia's new Padawan, Wes Vinnick, and his astromech ROM-1. As they continue their training and grow in the ways of the Force, the young Jedi will travel to new planets with new and old friends and encounter adversaries like the Gangools, who are growing in their pirate ranks. So we get the first half of the Young Jedi Adventure Season 2 on August 14th, and the second half of the season will drop sometime in early 2025, and we don't have a specific date for that yet. So some Skeleton Crew news. Let's see. So we've got an air date for the next show on Disney Plus. I think we mentioned this in episode 100, but I think it was like brand new news at the time. So December 3rd will be the release date for Skeleton Crew on Disney Plus in North America, which ends up being December 4th for the UK and Europe. So, and we also have some official stills thanks to StarWars.com. So we can show the stills here. Let's see. So I don't know, like these characters have names. Let's see, there we go. Sorry. I don't know the individual, like who's who, but I know that Jude Law's character is Jod, and the kids are Wim, Fern, KB, and Neil. So we've got some official stills here. So it looks like is that like a K2?
It's a droid. It's not a
some
K2.
kind of droid. Yeah.
It's a droid though. Yeah.
So here's the 4 kids here. They're on a bike here, a speeder bike of some kind with a sidecar.
It's like futuristic ET vibes.
Mm-hmm. Well, in this one especially. So these things look like speeders. Like they've got like repulsors and stuff, but they very much to me read like bicycles versus a speeder bike, which would be a motorcycle. Like Din's sitting on the Harley and these guys are riding Huffies, right? Like look at the handlebars even have like the tassels, like
the streamers
had when we were kids.
The little basket, the little
basket on the back.
Yeah, that's cool.
I mean, I want to know if they put like a playing card or a trading card in the spokes to make it sound like there's a motor or something like that. So it's
an electric bike versus a motorcycle.
Yeah. And then here's like a full cast shot with the 4 kids and Jude Law's Jod.
Is that like a baby Max Rebo, like kind of alien? Like what species is that?
Yeah, it looks like it. Yeah,
that's dope. God.
Yep.
Cool.
Neil. His name's Neil.
Is that one Neil?
Neil.
That one's
Okay.
Neil.
Yeah, that's what Nate confirmed. That said they had the Lego minifig at SDCC.
Yeah,
there you go.
they do. And I didn't have a chance to kind of go through that, which actually, speaking of, so here we go. So we've got a name for the ship that they fly around in the show, thanks to the release of this Lego set. So it's called the Onyx Cinder. So it actually was available in Lego form starting on August 1st. So apparently this is out in the wild now. I don't know that I've seen anybody with it in hand, but it's theoretically available. Again, so it comes with 5 minifigures, including Jude Law's character Jod, and then the 4 kids, Wim, Fern, KB, and Neil. So the set description reads, kids become the heroes in their own Star Wars Skeleton Crew stories with a detailed Lego brick recreation of the Onyx Cinder. This collectible Lego Star Wars buildable starship toy features rotating engines for landing and takeoff or flight, 2 stud shooters, 2 rotating turrets, each with 2 stud shooters, and a grappling claw. So presumably the ship has those kind of features. It is possible that they added those things just for playability, but usually something like the rotating engines, that's translating from what we see the vehicle do in the show. So
yeah,
there might be some things to glean from that. Includes all the characters. There's also a kitchen table and a bed, plus accessory elements, including fruit and a walkie-talkie to inspire creative play. So a little over 1,300 pieces, and it retails for $140.
It's a cool ship. I like the design.
Yeah. I'm curious to see what it looks like. Like sometimes the Lego translation of it, it's kind of quite a little difficult to see what it's going to look like, but it feels very kind of like the Ghost, or it's just sort of
the scale is off. Yeah, it's bigger.
Yeah, patchy and kind of seen some action over the years.
It's like a pirate ship almost.
Yeah.
Grappling hooks
with a stud shooter.
With a stud shooter. Yeah.
Stud shooter. Love that.
Okay. So Lando, the Lando show / movie. So the project's director, Justin Simeon, did an interview with Collider while doing PR for his upcoming docuseries titled Hollywood Black, and confirmed that the project would no longer be moving forward. Ooh. So he said it was pretty developed. Yeah, there was a Bible, there was concept art, there were scripts. It just wasn't meant to be. So
damn,
that's a bummer.
Yeah, I know that. I know that they were looking at taking this and kind of pivoting it from being what would have been a show into a movie. And Donald Glover and his brother were kind of getting their arms around it, trying to take the helm on that. But it sounds like it's just not, from a timing perspective. I know Donald Glover's schedule's just been crazy.
Yeah, so he's probably so busy.
Yeah,
that sucks.
But yeah, sounds like that project has now gone to the wayside. So, but you know what's not canceled yet? Sean Levy's Star Wars project, which it actually can't be canceled because they never actually announced it yet. And yet he goes around talking about it. So while doing an interview as part of his promotional tour for Deadpool and Wolverine with Josh Horowitz for the Happy, Sad, Confused podcast, Horowitz asked him some questions about the unconfirmed but also unannounced Star Wars project. And Levy had previously confirmed that Jonathan Topper was writing the script, which he talked about again. And he also confirmed that while coming up with the concept and helping with the writing, he did in fact have specific actors and actresses in mind for the characters. So when asked if he had anyone specific in mind for any of the roles, he replied, "Wow, you're asking the right questions. Sort of, yes, but please don't ask any follow-up." I also have an unconfirmed report from a reporter, Jeff Snyder, who claims that the script involves the character Rey Skywalker in some kind of capacity. But that theory is contradicted by the next quote from Levy, who expresses his desire to stay in uncharted territory with the project. He says, "The experience of crafting the story has forced me to think about that question. There's only so many times that Star Wars movie can revisit the same section of the timeline, because I don't want to do a Star Wars movie that is redundant to others, nor am I interested in doing one that has to serve another movie. I really wanted to craft something that felt organic to me in the tone and the characters. There's certainly the Force and a connection to something bigger than our individual selves, and the way that can make us powerful. Those themes combined with visual delight and wish fulfillment, that's Star Wars to me." So, again, aside from the occasional breadcrumb that we get thanks to comments consistently being made by Levy as he does press for Deadpool and Wolverine, we have zero official information about this project at all.
So, please, based off of what he just did, please,
give it to me.
That's what we need.
Do we need him in Star Wars though, or can we just keep him in Marvel? Like give him the whole X-Men franchise.
I'm kind of with Stevie there. Yeah. I mean, he might jump genres or whatever, might jump franchises, and it might not be,
as much of a impact.
Or just the same tools he used for Deadpool and Wolverine. I feel like he could take like an X-Men movie or
Gambit movie.
Oh, more than like a Star Wars original story or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm with you, Stevie.
Yeah. Speaking of Daisy Ridley, so she has been all over the news for the past couple of days, thanks to her recent interview that she did with Women's Health magazine about her diagnosis of Graves' disease, which is an autoimmune disease involving overactivity of the thyroid. So she was originally diagnosed about a year ago, back in September of 23, but this is the first time that she's publicly shared the news. So she described her symptoms during the filming of her most recent project, Magpie, as having a racing heart, weight loss, fatigue, and hand tremors. I thought, well, I've just played a really stressful role. Presumably that's why I feel so bad. And then once she realized that something else was going on, she went and got the official diagnosis. She said, it was funny. I was like, oh, I just thought I was annoyed at the world, but turns out everything is functioning so quickly you can't chill out. So while you wait for Magpie and hopefully the upcoming new Jedi Order film that she's working on, you can catch Daisy's latest released project by heading over to Disney Plus and watching Young Woman in the Sea, which is now streaming, which I think is it's a story about her swimming the English Channel, right? Something like that. Yeah. The first woman who swam the English Channel. So sorry if this one's a little messy because this news broke literally minutes before we started recording. But today, literally this afternoon, in today's Disney's quarterly earnings call, Bob Iger announced that Q2 marked the first profit for Disney Plus since its launch. So originally they were targeting Q4 of this year for that milestone, but they actually hit it 2 quarters early, which is good news. Interesting though, during the quarter, The Acolyte was their flagship title, but the engagement and views, according to US collected data, weren't as strong as Lucasfilm would have hoped for that show. But it's assumed that this is where the international component came in to save the day, is partially indicated by the average revenue per user metric, which that's where like the Acolyte fans in, say, France or South Korea or another country would have contributed to the score to help push Disney Plus over the edge. So I don't know that we normally see something like this take a step backwards. So presumably from this point on, it'll be expected to continue to turn a profit. So we'll keep an eye on that. Every quarter they do another one of these earnings calls, so we get that kind of news fairly frequently. Last article in the news, and something that I know I'm not the only one that has anything to say about, and we can dovetail into some other things that that we've been doing recently. So prop and memorabilia auction house Prop Store has coming up in their next auction a screen-used Biker Scout helmet from Return of the Jedi that they've acquired. So the helmet is estimated to, they're predicting that it's going to sell between $250,000 and $500,000.
Damn.
So this thing is, we'll get into it a little bit. We had the opportunity to actually see this thing in real life recently. So, so they're doing like a 4-day auction. So day one, which is Thursday, August 15th, is a live auction at the Peterson Automotive Museum in Los Angeles. So that's where the Biker Scout and several other items are going to be available for auction in a real, like, live auction there at the venue. I do think they're taking bids electronically, both over the phone and on the website, but it'll be going live at the event. And then I know the subsequent days, the 16th, 17th, and 18th, they've got, looking at the calendar here. Yeah. On the 16th, 17th, and 18th, there are 3 additional days of auctioning going on for this particular round. And there are actually several other Star Wars items that are going to be up for auction. But yeah, so this Biker Scout helmet. So John and Steven, we actually, and I know we've released some content and we've got some additional stuff coming. But we had the opportunity to go out to Prop Store and see this in person, as well as the other items that they've got in the auction. John, I know you had a chance to talk to Brandon Allinger, who's the COO of Prop Store LA. How did, like, you were the one that was the closest to the Biker Scout helmet. Tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, it was cool. He basically broke all this stuff down and told us the history of it, who designed it, and you know, how it came to be and whatever, why it was designed specifically the way it was. If you'd like to know what those things are, please go check out the video that we posted earlier about it, because it's a lot of really cool information. But aside from, I mean, obviously that helmet was the grand item, the grand piece, but there were so many cool things. I was blown away with the Marvel stuff they had, and also the Gladiator props from the first Gladiator movie.
Yeah,
amazing, dude. They had Joaquin Phoenix's character's armor, which is like this leather, like thick leather. I have no idea how or what, but it was amazing. That the sword, a helmet, and also the Marvel stuff. They had Logan's claws from the movie Logan, which were metal, which was a cool, and they were like distressed and aged, and they had Thor's hammer from Thor 2, and they had Captain America's shield from, was it Winter Soldier? Do you guys remember? I don't remember what.
Yes, that one was from Winter Soldier. They said.
Okay, yeah, and it was like all rubber and painted really nicely. And
you got to hold it, right?
I didn't. I held the shield, but I was like, "Can I put my arm through it?" Like, and he's like, "No, I'll do that." I was like, "All right, you got it."
I did like the fact that those Wolverine claws. They mentioned that they were the last metal ones.
For a reason,
yeah, because like on set they like the hero prop is always metal,
right?
But they were using metal ones for like stunt, and then somebody like accidentally got stabbed like on the side. So
they fell into it or something, and
yeah,
got me right in the tip with your little steak knife.
I think they said those were used on the Wolverine, right?
Logan.
Yeah.
No, because Logan was the final one.
No, yeah, that's why they were distressed and aged.
Correct. That's why they were so old.
Okay.
Yeah, they were old looking because he was old.
Jeez.
Yeah, they were ragged, but it was cool that they had that detail. Yeah, my favorite thing that we saw was they had the Batwing prop. This I mean, this thing was like 6 feet across. It was huge.
Yeah, it was huge.
It had like a little animatronic Batman inside that would like turn his head, and then all of the different panels would open up, and the little thing where he
the Gatling gun,
where he cuts the balloons, like it grabs the balloons and then cuts it. The little saw comes out and spins. All that stuff works. The dude had like a remote control that was like this big with all these buttons on it, like big old buttons. Push the button, something would turn on and flip around and whatever. It was cool.
It was really cool.
Great. So cool.
What was your favorite piece, Steven?
Oh man,
just to add something, yeah, because there were so many cool things.
There was too much to say favorite, but I think the piece that like really turned me into like a little kid again was seeing Slimer, like the actual Slimer costume that somebody actually put on.
Oh, what?
There's little holes for the arms to come through.
It's cut out so you can put your hand or whatever, your arms through it.
Yeah,
and then they'd probably put something else on while that was
like
on.
seeing like the actual like, because I've seen like the there's like a Halloween store slime, quote unquote, life-size Slimer you can buy, and it's still not as big as like seeing the actual one.
Huge. It was huge. It was like the size of someone's torso, essentially, like
crazy,
and then probably almost just as wide. Pretty cool.
Yeah,
I think that piece, and then the Stay Puffed hat.
That was cool too. Oh, they had a face hugger too from I think it was from Alien or Aliens. I think it was from the first one, Alien.
Yeah.
Barf.
Oh yeah. You're not a fan.
That trailer still scarred me. Oh my god! So yeah, my wife and I went and saw Deadpool and Wolverine, and the Alien trailer came on, and I was like, "Don't watch that."
Like, no, I'll use the bathroom. Yeah.
Have you guys seen the viral marketing that they're doing in New York?
They did it in San Diego. Now they're doing it in New York.
Yeah, all over Times Square. They have people that are just like face huggered, sitting on the street, sitting on the sidewalk,
and they're just
oh my god.
And then, but it has the breathing tube for them, so they can like inflate the lungs of the face hugger.
Yeah,
that's so scary.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
That is cool though. It's very cool.
Wow.
Oh, someone saying, did we lose John's video? Steph, am I still here?
I still see you.
I see you.
You can put me back in the little screen if you don't mind.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Yeah, we can go back to the normal layout anyway.
I hear John.
Because that is actually it for the news.
Oh, thought we were just a news podcast now.
I told you it
That
was
was
a lot.
There's a lot of news, dude.
That's what happens when we take like a month off.
I know.
This garbage is nothing like clone armor.
Looks a little tight on you, old man.
Yeah, at least I know how to wear it.
That's right, everybody. It's time for the weekly workbench. All right, gentlemen, who is working on what?
Nothing. I'm not working on anything. I got this new helmet here from Gaucho Props, Alpha Ignition. Is it still Gaucho Props? You keep changing things.
It's around there somewhere. Yeah.
I don't know. We got this for East. I'm going to paint this in some special colors and have it on display or for sale probably at East.
Ooh, nice.
Brian, I have a suggestion. Can I make a request?
Yes.
Paint the dome to look like the metal ceiling in East.
I was thinking
literally draw that pattern onto it. It'll look cool.
That's too much. I was thinking though of painting it like the tile is like white. It's like old white, distressed, and then there's like maroon and green tiles. So I was thinking like all white with a maroon and then maybe some green cheeks or something like that. Something like that. Other than that, I'm not building anything. I'm too busy, and I have my workbench is actually full of different things that got wrecked over the past week at Comic-Con. So not bad. Fire Puncher had a weak spot in it that I keep just temporarily gluing. That I need to like fix properly. So I'm gonna actually get in there and fix it right. I started to pull it apart today. The magnets all blew out on my Star-Lord blasters. What else? I don't know. On Steven's note about everything being funky after wearing it for so long, I think Star-Lord is still kind of like moist. So I keep like laying it out to try to dry it out.
Still moist.
But I try to, whenever I wear a bunch of costumes and I have damage, I try to like pull it out and like put it on my workbench, like right when I get home. So it's out and I know to fix it. So I don't run into a problem where I go to wear it months from now and I'm like, oh, this is broken and this, oh no. Like I try to like lay everything out. So I just unpacked Crosshair after like a week because I got home and I got busy and I just unpacked it, put it in its normal bin, checked everything out, and everything was okay, man. That Crosshair,
if it's still moist, dude, it might be infected. You should probably get it.
No, that was my the soft parts for Star-Lord that I can't.
The
really
soft
wash.
parts.
So yeah,
I'd be worried.
Yeah,
dude, check that
no,
out,
they're
man.
not bad. They're not stinky.
Go get those soft parts checked out.
They're fine. They're fine. They're fine.
It's fine. It happens to everybody at least once.
Yeah,
nothing to be embarrassed about.
But yeah, Fire Puncher has been needing some love from it. So I got that all prepped up and ready to go, and I got this helmet to build, but I'm going to be busy. We got a hurricane coming in tonight, so painting is probably not a good idea. We're supposed to get like 6 inches of rain, like in a short period of time. Got a lot of water. So shout out to May, who I finally got to meet in person and brought some diamonds of sugar for me, which I have. You cannot see them, but they're behind me somewhere in my case with some sweet.
Oh, they made it in the special case, huh?
It's in the special case behind me. So thank you, May.
Nice. I'll go quickly. We did San Diego Comic-Con, I guess 2 weeks ago now, or a week and a half, whatever. And I got to debut my Helldiver armor with David and Julio, Meganeth and Mandalorian. And our fourth wasn't able to come, but 3 of us had a lot of fun, and the suits held together, and then everything was nothing broke. Everything was awesome.
Shout out to Julio for army crawling as requested by
there's a video.
Easy.
Yeah, there's a video of him literally crawling on the ground, which Brian always teases us like, "Oh, it's rubber or it's flexible. You should crawl on the ground." Blah, blah, blah. So he did it, and
everything was fine.
It was awesome, yeah. And also, I haven't started working on it yet, but I have this Wolverine cowl that I got from Stevie. He printed it for me because my printer is not big enough. And I think I'm just gonna paint it. And it's either going to be like a one-off or, maybe for the suit or maybe give it back to Stevie. But yeah, it's awesome. And I love it. And
is that going to start your journey?
I don't know. We'll see.
Journey.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll visit that.
It's an educated wish.
We'll cross that bridge when we
educated wish for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's it that I can remember.
Gosh, what's on my workbench? Nothing's on my workbench, but I did want to talk about let's see here.
Hey Stevie, recently I'm sorry to interrupt the stream. I'm literally looking at it. It's still like it's playing. And like our content is doing what we're doing. However, Brian is still featured in the front instead of you. And like the whole time John was talking, John was a small window off to the side. Like I was seeing him doing his thing. It's not like it's lagging. It's just not switching.
I just got
maybe we need to flip out of this mode and back in or something like that. Like maybe if we just do this and then
there's a hole where John's video should be. Awesome.
Does that
lost John again?
Fix it. There you go. I see you. You're there
now. It looks good. Yeah, but everyone is saying my video's gone.
So go back.
Wait, I didn't touch anything. Did you touch something?
I'm messing with it too. We're both doing it. So, but like right now, you are featured on the YouTube too. So go.
Yeah. Okay. Now we could see.
We just needed to like recycle it. I don't know.
Well, now I'm going to change things around because I'm going to show something.
Okay.
So this was on all of our workbench. And this is the Heroes and Villains booth that they so graciously approached us to help with them, help them build this out, to kind of showcase their exclusive, their convention exclusive product lineup. So they came to us and they said, you know what, we have, it's 2024 is the 25th anniversary for the Phantom Menace, and Lucasfilm specifically is really promoting a lot of Phantom Menace anniversary stuff. So Heroes and Villains chose to go with the what is it, Pod Racer's garage theme, or like a racing team theme. So we turned like one half of their booth into essentially what's a Pod Racer's garage, where you would find like
it's like a Wada's junkyard vibe.
Yeah. So I mean,
all the droid heads and the pit droid with the flag in its hand and all the
John, you want to talk about what you had on there?
Well, I didn't have so many. I think I had a couple of droid heads and
or what you did specifically on the booth.
So there's a funny thing. Yeah. So me, Joe, and Brian were at the booth right in the beginning when we're trying to figure out what we're going to do. They had a whole gallon of paint. And it was supposed to be like a brown sand color, which is kind of what you see there. But when we opened it, it turned out to be like white paint. And we mix it up. Maybe the color's at the bottom. There was no color. It was white. It was right. It was like a light gray, very whitish, creamy. It was very white.
Like they had just never added the tint to it.
They didn't add the color.
It was literally just the bucket of paint.
It was like stucco base, and the color on it was khaki. So we were like, "Oh, this is khaki."
But it was like white.
It was white.
So me, Joe, and Brian were like, "Oh crap! Like, what are we gonna do?" Okay, and we had like acrylic brown, we had acrylic black, and we're like, "Oh, let's try to just mix our own colors in there, and we'll get the color we want." And
a bunch of brown.
Well, yeah, we did brown, mixed it, and then Joe was like, "Oh yeah, let's add some black," and he poured in like half or more of whatever container had the black, and all of a sudden the paint was gray. That was it. It was gray.
The exact gray that the
of
walls
the
are.
yeah,
already.
it was the same gray of the wall, and we're like, oh crap. We were like, damn, we're gonna have to buy new paint. We're gonna have to, Brian and Joe are kind of like running around, like, damn, we got to find Jonathan, we got to find Doug, whatever. Like, someone needs to go to Home Depot. Blah, blah, blah. And while they're off figuring that out, because I think someone did go to Home Depot, and they were trying to they were all on the phone, whatever. So I was like, damn, how are we gonna fix this? Like, I'm like, what can we do? So I was like, you know what? Screw it. I put some of the gray paint on the thing, and then I just added brown to that, rather than putting it in the gallon. So I would do the brown, and all of a sudden I was using, and we got this like sandy sort of grayish brownish sand color that came out, which is kind of exactly what we wanted. So so I was like, guys, don't go to Home Depot, come back, like, don't buy paint. It's sorted. Don't worry about it. So there it is.
Sick.
That's why you're the painter, John.
Yeah. No. I mean, whatever.
Yep.
We can all do it, but I was like, we're gonna figure this out without anything extra. Like, let's figure it out with what we have, and there it is.
And honestly, doing this was my favorite part of our whole trip. Like, when we were all there, like, doing it. Luke, if you were with us too, it would have been so fun.
Because we were building, dude. It was literally it was a live workbench.
Like, we had a plan, but it was pretty loose. And, we were, when it was just John, Joe, and I, we walked up a little bit in deer and headlights. And then I was like, nope, let's go. Here we go. And then we had a few of the props with us, and we put them up, and we're like, dude, this is looking sick. And then Raimi was like, Star Wars Jesus rolled up with this cart just full of stuff. And we were like, oh, like the sea parted, and we were like, oh my gosh, this is gonna be freaking amazing. And then we just started going to town, and it was so fun. Like, we all agreed on everything. We were like, I'm gonna do this, smooth. You're gonna do this, I'm gonna do this, and then just like
nice.
pop, 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 and then it was like, it was just fun. It was fun.
Everyone had their tasks, right?
We all had our specialties. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a couple things that, like, just like God, I hate getting sappy on this stuff. There's a few things, like, from our conventions. Like, behind me, I have that Polaroid from London, and that's like my prized possession from London. But every time I look at this Heroes and Villains booth, this to me, it just epitomizes like our collaboration together.
Unity.
It came out so good, with like the one side completely distressed, the opposite side being like the clean X-wing TIE fighter locker room.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You got the tools, like,
the dressing,
literally had the tools. The tools are in the middle, which kind of like can go
either way, right?
Yeah. It was just amazing.
We had this idea, and it came out like better, I think, than we initially thought. And
greater than the sum of its parts. Yes.
Yeah.
For sure.
And it was by far my favorite. And side note, Doug and Jonathan and the whole crew at Heroes and Villains are awesome. They're such good people.
Yep.
It was really fun to hang out with them in person. And
dude, for them trusting us.
Yeah.
That was big.
They literally were like, this is yours. You guys do it.
Nice.
And it was so much fun. And that just made it better too, that they were such good people,
They had told us beforehand there was sort of a friendly competition amongst all the different vendors within the Lucasfilm Pavilion, like who's got the coolest booth, and they wanted us to kind of help them sort of win. And I don't know if there was any kind of actual tally of who won or anything like that, but I can tell you that, like, people from the other booths were coming over and like asking them, like, how did you guys do
I was just gonna say that they had all the other people from the other booths were all coming over to them and being like,
so
what? Yeah, that was cool.
It was
fun. And then I would pop in with our Dad Batch business card, like, oh
yeah.
Dadbatch.com.
That was a blast. That was the best part of the trip, hands down.
There it is again.
That was super fun.
I just want to call out, like, so that that silver long box that's kind of on the far right of the picture that's on the left right there, like it's in the far right of this picture here. It fit in that space perfectly, and I'm like, that box was my dad was a mortarman in the Korean War. Like that box held like ammo that he would shoot. Like it's got like, if you look at the box, it's stamped like U.S. Army, and it's got like the size of the munitions and everything. So that was like his from literally the Korean War. And like I had made it fit start. Like I stenciled some like the Imperial cog on there and some things like that just to make it
you just ruined it with
I like the sections, all the sections that had any kind of specific, but I wanted a way to take that aspect of my past and incorporate it into this thing of my present and future. And I every time I'm able to use that box, like we used it at Celebration when it was in Anaheim in 22, and we used it again for this, and I'm very proud of that.
Nice.
That's awesome. Yeah. And then I know we don't have any photos of it on here, but you can kind of see it at the top. Yeah, there we go.
I'm trying to figure. Yeah, I guess.
Yeah. Just I want to talk a little bit about some of these, like the little greeblies on top. So I mean, I call them greeblies, but gosh, it's at this point it's set decoration. Let's see. Joe made the radar dish out of the inside of a giant
shop vac.
Wet shop vac. And it looks like a radar dish.
That was the most fun piece.
Totally.
We've got our pit droid, obviously, with the Heroes and Villains logo on him. And then he was holding, it was like a last minute decision to make him hold the pod racing flag.
The Anakin flag, yeah.
That
so cool.
turned out awesome.
So sick.
We got the droid heads there. Oh, the rust paint on the droid heads.
Yeah.
Like that. So Wednesday night, we hit it with the rust paint. And then literally like a few minutes before we left, we spray it with the activator, the rust activator. And, it starts to rust just a little bit. But then we came in the next morning, Thursday morning or Wednesday morning, and that thing was just like...
It's like crusty.
It was like a tetanus shot waiting to happen. Like
that paint's awesome. I love that stuff.
Best.
Yeah, it's so cool.
Yeah,
I'm really proud of how Sal came out. Sal was.
Yeah.
What is
Sal?
You
a lot of time on Sal.
You did a mighty fine weathering job.
Yep, he salvaged parts.
Oh,
and Raimi's, and then the helmet that Raimi made for the Heroes and Villains.
That was awesome too.
Dude, it's probably longer than we want to play the whole thing, but I do have the video loaded up here of them like opening it up. If we want to try and see that,
do it.
Go for it.
You guys are good.
All right.
So we had made this helmet. It was an X-wing pilot helmet, and it was based on some Star Wars art some art that they had on a T-shirt that they had done. So there was the color palette that you see on the helmet. That was what was on the T-shirt, and their logo from that was like a skull and crossbones. Yeah, and there's audio here, just a mess. But so, and one side has the Rebel logo, and the other side has the Imperial cog. So it was like the heroes and the villains.
The heroes.
So they can see it. Yeah. And they're
pretty sure Doug wore that on the plane.
Yeah. For real. Their little skull and crossbones was on the side of it and everything like that. So that was kind of at the corner of the booth up above. So that was kind of approved logo artwork that they had made available to us as just kind of part of whatever we were able to use to do this project. So
that's great.
But you keep saying we. You did that.
Yeah, you did that.
You painted that helmet.
Nobody needed to know that.
We saw it when you brought it.
Yeah, I know. But
no.
I'm trying to.
You. No.
We.
You did it.
We're all we.
No.
We all definitely had a part in the whole process.
Yes.
Oh, and the whole banana, sure, but you painted that. Yeah.
He did. That was
fun
stuff.
Guys.
That was a good time.
So that's all I wanted to talk on my workbench, because that's literally been my focus for the last I don't know, 6 weeks.
Yeah, you were busy.
2 months.
You were busy on that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's wild.
And now I'm focused. Now we're focused on new things coming, hopefully. But that's it for my workbench. Let's see. Raimi?
Oh gosh. Okay.
Oh, whoa. Pull it out.
Yeah. So this
Pull
is
it
gonna
out,
be
baby.
This is gonna be
Whip
a visual
it out.
one. So give me a minute. I gotta turn it on
Big
first.
Get that thing out.
Rocket
That
energy.
big old thing.
Yeah, big rocket. So as everyone knows, I've been working on a Rocketeer costume. So
The YouTube, hold on. The YouTube is still Steven, even though it's you, Raimi.
Oh,
What is
all
up
right.
with
We can fix it. We can just do this and then go back. Let's see if that fixed it.
Boom.
Did that fix it?
Yeah.
Okay, that fixed it. I'm still seeing it.
Yeah,
delay.
yeah, it looks
okay.
good.
Cool. I've been working on a Rocketeer, so the jetpack was something that we were all John, you painted this thing. So like I printed this on the new Bamboo, and it's printed in ABS, which is great because like we talk about 3D print, you can't leave it in the car, yada yada. Well, this one being in ABS, like you could leave it in the car, it's not going to melt. So it's a mix of ABS print from the Bamboo as well as some resin pieces that were, some of the finer detailed parts. But it's all there. Like, and there was this moment where I had like all the electronics laid out, and it's like literally taking up my entire kitchen table. I'm like, all right, I got to figure out how to get all of this inside there. So, but I did it. So the pack is here. It's mounted on a leather harness. So you can see the harness here. I can put it on.
Wow.
But, it's heavy because it does a lot. But here's the pack.
It's so great. It's so insane, dude.
Insane, dude.
Yeah, and it's got like the working pistons that on the fins or everything like that.
Fired up.
Yeah, all right. You want to fire it up? Let's do this.
I mean,
You can't tease us. You can't open the door and then slam it in our faces.
Don't blow the mic.
You got to let us in.
Yeah. So so it's got lights, sounds, and smoke, and the fan spins too. So here's the glove. Based off of what you see in the film, there's a button on the palm of the glove. So if I hit this and everything works, fingers crossed.
Ooh. Oh, it's gonna take off. Careful.
You're gonna burn your hand. Come on, dude.
So cool.
You can see the fan spinning.
Fan spinning, yeah.
That is nuts.
God, it looks so good. That's probably the coolest thing I've ever painted.
Where's the sound, dude?
You can't hear it?
No.
Put it up to the mic.
Is it not coming through?
It doesn't come through.
Nah,
No.
come
I think
through.
your sound cancellation is killing it.
Post it.
Yeah, you gotta post that thing.
Maybe.
Yeah,
I will post. I'll post the video. There is definitely sound. It's the noise cancellation or voice isolation or whatever it is probably filtering it out.
Yeah.
Is that thing pretty light?
No, it is not.
Oh.
What's heavier? That one? What's heavier, that or the Proton Pack?
Oh, the Proton Pack weighs
Proton Pack.
way more than this.
Okay.
This is lighter. Yeah.
So this could fly.
I mean, it certainly looks like it.
Wow.
It's
Have
so
you
good.
weathered it yet or no?
No, I haven't. So I'm planning on
Don't
doing kind of
weather
the same weathering treatment that we do on a DIN helmet. And we've got a process for that. I
The
won't get
oils,
into.
yeah.
Yeah. But it makes it look like there's like a nice kind of weathered age to it, and just it's not overdone. It's just subtle, and it just gives it like a nice rich weather look.
That thing is insane.
Yeah,
And
it's so cool.
you doing this sparked me to rewatch that movie, and that movie is so great. It's
It
so
is.
good.
Oh, it's so
It is.
good.
And
Wholesome.
like the harness, I found a vendor out of Florida that does the leather work.
Wow.
So the harness is the leather. I've got the jacket. I've got the pants. I've got the boot. So the boots are here. They're gnarly. So they're like imagine Han Solo boots, but there's also like laces.
Oh God.
So and there's laces up here too. So got the boots here.
Is the Rocketeer going to make it to Dragon Con?
I don't think I don't ever want to travel with that pack. It's
Yeah.
I mean, yes, I printed in ABS and everything. I do not want to travel with that. It's too precious.
Dang.
I don't want anything to happen to it.
Yeah.
Too
I
bad you
wouldn't
couldn't
either.
get into D23 because that would be.
I know.
Just fly in.
I know. Yeah. We'll see.
You can come on, Ramey.
We'll
Come
see.
on, Ramey. Come on, Ramey.
LA Comic Con for sure. So if anybody wants to see it in person, we'll make sure that we've got an appearance at LA Comic Con. And everybody's coming out of the woodworks wanting to take pictures at the Griffith Observatory with it because they filmed part of the film there. So might have to go do that. That's my workbench.
All right.
It's awesome.
Woo.
Well, I got back. I did the same thing as everybody else. I unpacked from SDCC. I fixed a couple things. My eyes on my Deadpool are magnets, and one of them had popped off during SDCC. So I got those back on. Little JB Weld back in business. Mando wise, I did a couple new Mando pieces. Minute Fet,
of course you did.
I think we all follow. Yeah, well, I think we all follow him. He does like really good vacuum formed armor pieces, and I bought some pieces off of him recently and painted a couple up. Took him on a road trip while I was working and got some cool photos. So yeah, just started to add to the Mando pile continuously. That's what I do.
Nice, dude.
Yeah. Very just eased myself back in from Comic-Con. That's it.
Let's see here. All right.
I think we all went.
I'm queuing up a new segment here.
Oh,
this is not yeah, it's not the final intro. So
Not final.
Bear with me.
Does it say like not final in text?
I should have put not final on it.
I'm not mad. I'm disappointed.
Wow.
Well, the final intro.
We haven't heard the intro yet.
So sorry, Brian.
It's still rendering.
It might be legendary.
Probably is.
Hold on. Yeah, queuing it up here.
Dun, 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 dun. That was exciting. Wow, my own segment. This is huge. I feel, you come every once in a while to something new and they drop you in, and I feel like Brady Bunch's nerdy cousin Oliver, or Thank the Maker's nerdy cousin Mike Forrester being added to the roster. This is fantastic. Marvel Minute. Where do we begin? Let's start from the top. Robert Downey Jr. He's back. He and the Russo brothers are going to be heading up a new direction for Marvel. Dr. Doom. I think we've all heard of him. The Man in Green. Yeah, that was huge news. I mean,
you don't have to keep the mask on the whole time.
Mask?
Let him cook, bro.
Mask?
Oh,
mask?
I'm just saying.
Let him go.
I'm gonna wear a different Marvel mask for every segment that I do, so just be prepared because I've got enough.
He does. He really does.
I do. I'll let myself out.
Stevie couldn't take it. He had to walk off.
Okay, let's get back on track here. Okay, so yeah, that was huge. I mean, that was earth shaking. I think we were all prepared for just an earth shaking weekend with moi and Logan, but we got hammered with a big be still, my beating boner. What are you doing over there, Stevie? Good Lord. Yep. Okay.
Do we all have Marvel stuff we could put on for the Marvel?
All right,
Minute?
John, get yours.
Get it on, John.
Yondu's in storage. I can't go get him.
You gotta put on the mohawk.
Grab your airbrush, Raimi.
It's a storage. Sorry.
Oh my God! I got to take off my good eye to look at that.
I do have the jacket. Wait, Sam. I can do this.
Ooh, how's that moist Star-Lord? Is he still moist?
This was printed
Can't
in
hear
one
well,
shot on the Creality K1 Nox.
Nice. God damn. Is that the one that they all wore out on stage? Is that the same design?
Yeah. This is the Mystery Maker.
Nice. God damn, that's beautiful.
Yeah, I'm for sure doing.
There you go.
I'm doing Doom for sure.
Oh, you're doing Doom?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
All right.
As soon as we get some final shots of the costume, whatever it's.
I don't think it's going to be that mask.
No, it's not this one.
Yeah, it can't be.
I can't.
I don't think it's going to be the one that he had on at the event either.
No, of course not. Yeah, I'm hoping that it's like the infamous. Iron Man.
Infamous Iron Man. Oh my.
Oh yes.
Oh my god.
Like an Iron Man, Doctor Doom.
If that happens, I'm gonna lose my mind. I have those helmets. I have one up there in my.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Remember, I did those like
years
ago.
I remember. Definitely.
So is there a debate?
That was pre-snap.
So is there a debate that Robert Downey Jr. is really Marvel Jesus and not Ryan Reynolds?
Well, he was an anchor being, wasn't he? Or was it Logan? Because they asked Kevin Feige if Iron Man was the anchor being in like the Infinity Saga.
No, we're talking about Marvel Jesus,
like real life Marvel Jesus.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
For 80 million, he better be.
He's an apostle for sure.
He's the second coming. So
I mean, if Iron Man hadn't taken off the way that it did, would any of the other Marvel movies have happened? Like, I mean, that really was the first one that really.
Yeah, that was the catalyst,
right? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So
Endgame was like a love letter to him. So.
Yeah.
But I mean, man, having the Russo brothers back on board too. Let's not discount those two guys. Holy tamale!
Yep.
That's a combo. That is a combo meal that I want to eat and drink from for the rest of my life. Then we got some Fantastic Four news, which is exciting. We got a new subtitle called First Steps, which is amazing. As well as the footage that they showed, they gave us a little teeny, well, actually, large peek at Galactus peeking through a window. That was a teeny window to him.
Yeah, dude.
That was amazing. And then he was actually shown in the little droney laser light show that we got to see from a distance coming out of the 501st Prom. So they teased him a little bit, and just knowing that movie, like the period setting for that, how that's going to translate into the larger biosphere of Marvel going into, like, was it phase 27? What are we going into?
Something like that. Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
I loved the vintage vibe.
Yeah, it's very just Jack Kirby, 1961. I just
and it
love
has
that
to
whole
be,
direction.
right?
Yeah. I mean, I think to keep that family unit functioning the way they did in the comics, like that's such a brilliant way. Yeah. It's beautiful. I love that so much. Then we had some Thunderbolts footage, along with David Harbour wearing a new Red Guardian suit that I guess presumably will be in the movie.
Dude, that intro was hilarious.
So good.
Did you guys see that?
Yeah.
When he was like,
"Hey, why isn't everybody else wearing a suit?"
Yeah. I thought we were all wearing suits.
Oh, God, he's so good. So that's exciting. Captain America. We got to learn about Giancarlo Esposito's villain actually getting a name put to the face. He's playing Sidewinder, who, if you're familiar with your comics, he's part of the Serpent Society, which is definitely some of the freakiest, sneakiest costumes in the Marvel universe, like very snaky centric. I would love to see them try to translate some of those characters' costumes into the MCU. I think they could do it for the challenge, but yeah, we just got teased a little bit of him in the trailer, so it's cool to know he's the character Sidewinder from the Serpent Society. Yes. Very spooky. And then, just kind of dovetailing off of the first part of the news. I mean, talking about like Secret Wars. I mean, that's Secret Wars and Doomsday. I mean, those are the tentiest of tent poles that I could think of in all of comics, at least from the Marvel side of things. So that's unreal that they're going to be touching base on some of those points.
I knew this was coming. Guys. If you remember, like a year ago, when I was on that what was it called? The auction app, whatnot. And remember, I was like staying up all night, every night, buying stuff. And I bought all those Secret Wars comics, and I got them graded and everything. I'm cashing in now, baby.
Baby.
But yeah,
checks.
I want to see, because there's so much fantastic stuff. Fantastic. There's so much fantastic stuff going on right now with like RDJ and the whole Doom thing and questions about Kang and all this. But I want to see Tom Holland's Peter Parker get
Don't say
the
it.
symbiote. I want him to see. I want to see him get the
He
black
has
suit.
to. He has to.
It has to.
I want them to do this right.
If you
That
know
way,
the comics, it has to. Yeah.
He gets the black suit in Secret Wars and Secret Wars 2, and he takes it with him into like Spider-Man 5 or whatever his next movie will be, and then do the Venom
story
arc on that.
Well, and I think
do it right.
Venom. I think they're doing another Venom movie, and it's called The Last Dance. So maybe they're capping that off, so the MCU could swoop up the symbiote, possibly. I don't know.
I hope so. I mean, there's a lot of misdirects going on in that trailer, because they got like the variant of Baron Mordo who catches the suit, but technically he's not in the 616. So
yeah,
I don't know. There's a lot of stuff.
I heard that for the next Avengers movie, they're bringing back both the Tobey Maguire and the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man, in addition to Tom Holland as well. I saw that today.
That would be good.
I thought it was well done in the last film, the way they did it. So
they did do it well. And rumor has it Wolverine is getting the brown and yellow suit for the Secret Wars movie.
I saw that too.
Rumor has it.
Yeah.
Unconfirmed. It's just hearsay, but
it's era appropriate. We got to
make
see
sense.
We got to see it in our little special movie. So that would line up for the timeline too for comics wise. I hope I was trying to think about like where they're talking about the introduction of mutants into the MCU, which was part of the conversation over the weekend of Comic-Con, and like I don't know, I feel like you could almost introduce them between these like two movies.
They did introduce the first mutant officially. In the what's her name?
Kamala
Khan.
Oh, come on. Yeah. Yes. Miss Marvel.
Because at the end of that show, I think it was the last episode, the boy with her was kind of telling her test results or something that came back, and that there was a mutation, and that was supposed to be the official first mention or first thing to do with mutants in the MCU.
He said the word mutation.
If we get a tease of that in one of the movies, that's going to be insane. Like just a little taste of that mixed in with the overall like soundtrack, orchestra and stuff.
So good.
So cool.
So John and I were talking about this yesterday, and we were saying he doesn't necessarily see the same point of view as me on this, but I want X-Men 97 on screen. Like I want to see X-Men 97 live action, put in Gambit, put in Channing Tatum as Gambit, I don't care. I just want it.
No. So I'm not against. Yeah. Not only is it a lot of money, but like, are we going to reintroduce? I mean, I know we're going to put the X-Men. They're going to show up eventually, but are we going to, hire new actors again?
Yes, I hope so.
So okay. So we're gonna get like our fifth Cyclops, our third Rogue, our third Jean Grey, and not obviously I want it and I want it to succeed, but it's kind of like, oh my god, again.
But is there anyone else that we want to see
though.
As some of these characters? Like I feel like who's gonna do better than Hugh Jackman?
It'd be
like them bringing somebody else in to play Iron Man at this point. Like
there will be a new Wolverine eventually. There will be one.
Yeah,
but
I guess so.
It's not going to be in these two movies.
But see, with a proper X-Men story, you don't have to have like a big superstar as Wolverine. Like in the X-Men series, yes, Wolverine's a cool character, but there's so many more characters and there's so many more stories to tell that don't center around Wolverine. I love Wolverine.
Oh, yeah.
I love Hugh Jackman's Wolverine, but come on.
I agree.
You didn't need to make 6 movies based on Wolverine and Mystique,
but they did, right? That's what I'm saying though.
Yeah,
That
they
like
do.
I have a bit of fatigue from like the last 20 years of sort of the same. I don't know. I want it. I want it to happen. I want it to succeed, but I don't want it to be like, oh, that sucked. We're gonna reboot it again, or we're gonna do this again. It's just like, no, man, just
everything's rebooting after Secret Wars.
Then all of a sudden, it's just DC, where you've just got the same Batman origin story, movie
I don't
after
want
movie.
3 different X-Men movies with 3 different sets of actors, you know. Or,
And see, that's why I'm saying, like, if they did X-Men 97, not the first 5 seasons of X-Men, but X-Men 97, where the team's already established, but maybe they're bringing on a new class or a new generation or new members onto the X-Men team, and maybe Professor X is dead, and then you've got Cyclops running the show. I don't know.
I feel like if you dropped him into, you know, the Battle World Secret Wars kind of scenario where people are just pulled out of their timeline to then land on this planet that Emperor God Doom has created. It's almost like what was the first Spider-Man with Tom Holland? What was it? Far From Home or
No Way
Home? What was the first one called?
Yeah.
Well, you know, they just introduced him without having to do the Uncle Ben story. And they're just like, it's Spider-Man. You guys get it. Just fucking run with it.
That's what I want too. Yeah, like I don't want an origin story again.
Yeah,
Like, just have them start off. They're already established, or they pop into the universe somehow. Oh, hey, you know.
Oh, this is this time stream's Wolverine, and this is the Cyclops from
here they are.
2004, and
they know each other, and or whatever. They, you know, you don't have to explain. Oh, by the way,
their roles.
This is like I want them to be established already. You know,
just jump in and start moving.
We've introduced those characters so many times already.
Yeah.
Okay, so assuming that we don't, assuming that Robert Downey Jr. is not the final Doom, because he can't be the final Doom. They're not gonna pay him for the next 10 years. He's not gonna do it for 10 years.
But I think it's gonna be a Stark variant, maybe, that turns to Doom. Because he can't be Victor Von Doom, right? Is he still Tony Stark?
They called him Victor Von Doom.
Yeah, I think he's like a time, you know,
variant.
Yeah. Well, there's an old comic story where like Doom goes back in time to when like Tony Stark is in college and like tricks him and like steals his, like switches brains, like full on
the brain swap
80s movie, like Trading Places. Like they switch brains and then he becomes like Tony Stark, but bad Tony Stark. And then Tony Stark ends up following Dr. Doom's origin, where he becomes like Doom, but tries to do good basically. But he has, you know, an accident and kind of goes through the Doom beats of the story, origin story of Doom. So I don't know. As far as who could play Doom, when they were first kicking around names, and it's funny that, you know, we'll probably talk about this in a sec when we talk about DPW, but I thought Henry Cavill would be a good Dr. Doom. I thought he's got the Victor Von Doom kind of aesthetic. You know, he's a little beefed up. He's a beef dog, but like,
I feel like he's not sinister enough though. Like he's such a good guy, you know.
Yeah, but I feel like he's a good actor where he could maybe get that shot at being a good bad guy, and I feel like he could probably do it.
I had heard a rumor. Oh, go ahead.
I don't know a lot about Doom, so maybe people that don't know a lot about Doom, but is he not always in armor?
No, he never takes his mask off.
Okay,
he's like physically scarred. So.
And if Marvel does this right after RDJ, give us the next Doom that never takes his mask off, but maybe he's got like a superstar voice.
Yeah.
So we might not even
Morgan Freeman.
Well, but part of
Morgan Freeman is Dr. Doom.
Part of what makes Dr. Doom Doom though is when he was scarred, he was so vain before he was scarred that like he was like very proud and vain and like uber handsome dude, and then he got scarred. And there's also like, I think there was like a Marvel story that kind of told it wasn't a full what if, but it was definitely on the like bend of, well, Dr. Doom, out of the accident that he had that he blames Reed Richards for, he takes off his mask one time and his face has like a little scratch scar on it. He's like that vain that he hides his face away from the rest of the world. So it's got to be a dude that's like, got some.
Dude, I was thinking like Cillian Murphy,
jawline kind of stuff. Yeah, for sure.
Well, we have RDJ, so it makes total sense that he can pull this off, and we're not even going to know. You're not even going to go, oh, it's Iron Man, because it's a dude in a suit with a synthesized voice. It doesn't really matter that it's RDJ, right?
Right.
Like,
unless they feature him often for some reason. They might.
But if he's not taking his mask off.
I mean, they're gonna have to do some sort of flashback to like give him the exposition that he needs.
It's not like Mando with his helmet
accident.
On.
Yeah. He's gonna have to have some which they de-aged people, of course, and they've de-aged RDJ. So they could do it,
If they're getting Robert Downey Jr. to play this version of Doom, it's because they want to show him without the mask. For some reason, like
I agree with that. Even though I don't like the idea of him being the bad guy, just because like I love Iron Man, but I agree, you're right, don't have him do it if you're not going to show him, because it's not impactful otherwise.
There has to be some story point, and the Russos love to take from the different comics and then interpret that into their own MCU version, like they did for Civil War, right? They're gonna take they might take Infamous Iron Man or God Emperor Doom and take bits of that to create their own version for MCU.
And during those storylines too, Tony Stark is dead, but he's Jarvis. He's AI,
but he's not dead.
Yeah, but he says like consciousness is saved. Yeah. Which could be a cool way to like keep RDJ's face as the good guy, kind of while Doom is dooming Doom things.
I mean, based off of what they just did with Deadpool.
Things.
I'm sure they are going to be.
They'll figure it out.
Knock 11,
especially the Russo brothers. They'll figure.
What they're doing.
I have faith in Marvel Jesus.
I am not sweating it.
They're bringing out heavy hitters from now on. They're not messing around.
I was relieved and excited and surprised to hear that trio of news like hit with those three on stage. That's insane.
And I don't know anything about Thunderbolts, but I loved that actor, Red Guardian. Like
David Harbour.
He's so awesome as that character. Like, I'll watch it just for him. And
Thunderbolts is like Marvel's Suicide Squad, but not Suicide Squad.
Dude, Sentry's going to be in it. I guess he's going to be the villain, Sentry.
Oh,
he's kind of like he's like a Superman of the Marvel universe.
Yeah. Sentry's cool.
Yeah.
Or he's like cool the way they decided to turn him into this dark character thing. That's
It's gonna be good.
Good look. Yeah, good look on that character. That's cool. Nice.
Right on. Well, Luke, thanks for that Marvel minute, man.
The Marvel minute.
Great first contribution.
Stay tuned for more.
Why did you make me do this?
Guess you have a choice. You want a war, or do you want to just give me a gun?
My father, he go toilet on my hands.
Oh my God.
Urine is 35 degrees Celsius, staves off the frostbite.
How is this relevant?
You know, fathers.
So this week's Hunter's Hard Drive, we're going to be talking about Deadpool and Wolverine, obviously. Came out in 2024, directed by Sean Levy. Starring Ryan Reynolds, Hugh Jackman, and Emma Corrin as Cassandra Nova. First of all, I just want to say what?
Full spoilers.
Oh yeah, there are
alert.
spoilers. There are spoilers. If you don't want to know this right now, everyone say good night. Good night. Okay. Good night. See ya. Okay.
Good night, guys.
Yeah. Good night, everybody.
I haven't seen it either.
Oh yeah, Raimi.
Oh shit.
Yeah, bye, Raimi. Sorry. Anyway, so I just want to start with Wolverine is my all-time favorite Marvel character. And what we've gotten over the years was always a treat because you get Wolverine, you get Cyclops, you get all the characters that you love. But this is the first time we've seen him in like comic accurate suits, and that was that made it for me, along with all the other amazing things that happened. Obviously, we got to see a few versions of Wolverine. Whoa.
Can't control myself.
But anyway, obviously, there are a lot of moments. I'm going to try to keep it as spoiler-free as possible, but if things come up, I'm sorry. But yeah, obviously, there's a lot of variants of Wolverine. There's one in particular that I'm a huge fan of that I never, ever, ever thought we would see on the screen, and that's the Age of Apocalypse Wolverine. The one with the missing hand. He has the
oh yeah, baby
thing. Unbelievable. Just insane. I mean, we got the brown and yellow suit. We got Patch. We got the Cavalrine, which was a treat.
So sick.
Yeah,
Mini Wolverine was my favorite.
We yeah, the comic accurate Wolverine.
Stick the landing, little guy.
We got the Uncanny X-Men cover of the crucified Wolverine. I mean, just everything.
I saw like a Instagram post of somebody did a count on all of the movie covers, because there was, you know, the X crucified Wolverine. There was like him with the claws with the Hulk in it.
Claws out. Yeah.
There were 12 different covers that somebody had found from like different comics. I only counted like 5-ish, you know, so if that. So yeah, there was a bunch of really
Age of
cool
Apocalypse one for sure.
Age of Apocalypse one. There was one with Cassandra Nova, like when she kind of made her debut. There was like a profile shot they did of her that was on one of the it was an X-Men, but Astonishing X-Men. That's what it was when she was it debuted. Yeah, Frank Whiteley.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what else? Anyway, whatever. I'm gonna stop. I want you guys to tell me, but not Raimi, obviously. Sorry, you can enjoy your meal. But everyone else, tell me your favorite parts of the movies, or at least what was your favorite. It doesn't have to be a moment, just whatever was your favorite thing about. Oh, Brian, did you see it? Yeah, you did. You were with us. Okay, cool. Yeah. I had a brain fart. Sorry. I'm like, oh, you're all the way over there. Did you see it? Yeah, you were with us.
No one was in the theater with you, John. It was just you and the screen.
It was pretty much just me, yeah, because I was watching it like this.
North Carolina has not received the movie yet.
But I don't know. Steven, tell us what you like.
Oh man, I mean, right there,
the
baby
pool.
Voiced by
I loved it. I mean, I loved it. It's probably one of my top favorite. I would say top 3 superhero movies of all time.
Mm-hmm.
Of all superheroes of all time.
It's my favorite. Not top 3. Number 1. Yep.
Well, I'm not gonna do that right now. But the story, the plot for me was a little muddy at times. But I didn't really care.
Mm-hmm.
Because there was the movie itself is completely ridiculous, which that in itself excuses a muddy plot. Like,
yeah,
it inherently does, right? When you have Ryan Reynolds, when you have Nice Pool looking at the screen to say the proposal, like you can forget any plot holes or whatever. I mean, just the fact that you can really, as a Star Wars fan, and you know, I love everything that comes out of Star Wars. Right? I really try to love everything that comes out of Star Wars. This was a movie that you could tell that the passion that those 3 guys, Ryan Reynolds, Hugh Jackman, and Sean Levy, you can tell that the passion that they had for the content spread out through the entire production. Whether it was makeup, writing, you know, I'm sure that probably even like the PAs that are getting coffee and lunch were like, you know, into the story just as much as the writers.
It was super thoughtful.
Yeah, the most minute details, you know, having a shoe store named Liefeld's Feet. I mean, they don't have to do that, but they did because they love the material, you know?
Yeah,
absolutely.
They did their homework. Yeah.
I think the number one part for me was just seeing Gambit. I mean, Gambit is not even my favorite, my top favorite character. But after the play that the character got in the X-Men 97 series to really validate how much of a strong X-Man he is.
Right.
And then to go into this movie to see a 100% comic accurate costume
Down to
and
the
performance, not just the costume, but the performance.
Yeah.
I mean, between his accent, his powers, his demeanor, his attitude, the way that he was like, the way that he was like when everyone was saying like, let's effing go. And he was like, "Ooh, you know, the doctor ain't seen this much butter since I've been coming out of my daddy's balls." Like that's something that that's something that Gambit would say, you know, like, just that for me was
It felt authentic.
Another level.
He was so great. That little video they just released of Channing doing the training for Deadpool was so great,
bro.
Man. So cool. Yeah, they nailed that. That's a super duper big piece of it for me too. Seeing Gambit live, that's long time coming. Little kid Luke wish fulfillment stuff. Where I'm just like, oh my god, that is unreal. When they fought through the last part of the act, the bus scene, and just seeing the cowl come up was, I mean, again, man, like just these things that you just check off of a box as like a little kid that you're like, I don't know if I'll ever see Wolverine
pulls it up
done like that as a comic character. Yeah, it was. The jokes were a mile a minute. Like all of that was fantastic. Like Steven said, I mean, it made any muddy part of the plot or any little plot holes just go by the wayside because it was so self-aware, self-deprecating, so fast and funny. I mean, it truly was a lot of care put into that movie for those guys and the team. You could just tell everybody that worked on it was excited to work on it. It was hilarious and there were heartfelt moments. Happy Hogan might have been my favorite scene.
Yeah.
Dude,
what's your special power?
Oh, you're an Avenger.
Oh, sure. He doesn't do this anymore. Cameos? No, interviews.
Avenger adjacent. Yeah.
I mean,
what's your power? Parallel
when you got promoted. He got promoted.
They made John. They made John Favreau say "schmasturbate." Like the fact they
masturbate,
smasturbate.
The fact they made him like a part of that joke is just too funny, and you can tell he was just all about it too. I mean, it just the care put into the movie was what sold me, man. I mean, ready for all of the things those guys do together. It's so good.
Absolutely.
Oh my gosh.
Brad guy.
I mean, exactly what you guys said. I can't repeat my favorite part in the movie because it would require me to curse, or if I didn't curse, it wouldn't.
I know what
Steven,
it is.
are you giving me the go ahead and say it? Are you giving me the nod to go ahead and say it?
I don't remember. What?
It involves the F word.
Flame on.
It's to go into Disneyland.
That was freak. Yeah, the F it. I'm going to Disneyland. Get F.
Oh
that
yeah.
Oh okay. Yeah.
That was my favorite scene. I loved all the Marvel and Disney jabs.
The DC jab.
The Chris Evans thing was just like it had to had to just, and because like Deadpool would like lean into it. Just like when he was putting the cowl on and Deadpool looks over to him and he's like, like they're just like,
get your special sock nerds.
Yeah, they just like, get your special. They just like fed into like all those parts that just like normally naturally happen, right? Like when Cap gets the Mjolnir hammer, like it's like those are like moments where you're like, oh my gosh, but like then you have Deadpool like going, look, like.
Oh my God,
love
it's
that.
happening.
And then just like I feel like every day on Instagram I see a new thing that because I'm not as deep as John, Luke, and Steven is with comics and stuff. Like I know about stuff and I remember stuff, but I don't retain tons of information. And the like little tidbits, the thing I heard about why they used NSYNC song in the beginning was because it was in
X-Men 2, and they turn the song on in a car, and Wolverine's like, turn it off, because he like hates it. The whole Channon's the Channing, I can never say it.
Channing Tatum
backstory about I've been sharing like videos I've seen about him talking from like the story of him in 2009, how he was supposed to be Gambit and blah 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 blah. The Blake Lively thing, how Rob Liefeld used her as a model for before 2009. Like everything goes back years and years, and the whole movie was just like a love letter to not only Hugh, but to the entire X-Men franchise,
the Fox universe,
the whole Fox universe.
But not even the Fox universe, just the Marvel. Like the Marvel universe of Deadpool in that. And I understand it was a whole, they're writing, they're sunsetting all the Fox characters, and hey, you guys did a good job, but now hold my
Blade, Elektra,
the Blade thing. I always forget he's Marvel. Like when he's
the first Marvel movie.
And it's just the little jabs, the subtle things. Elektra's wearing Daredevil's belt from
that was cool.
Old movie. Like just the tiny little details that truly was because of the care and the love that Ryan Reynolds has for this. Curious to see where it goes from here. I'm sure they're going to include Deadpool. Does Hugh stay on? Was all the jokes about him doing it till 90 just a joke? Or I mean, there's so much in there. It's so deep. It was funny. It was hilarious. It was definitely in my top 3 Marvel superhero, whatever. It was awesome. It was so good. Every time I see a little new thing where it's like Ryan Reynolds' baby was the voice of Baby Pool. Like, what? Matthew McConaughey's the voice of Cowboy Pool.
Yeah, Matthew McConaughey was so stoked on that.
Just
Nathan Fillion was Headpool too.
Yeah, Headpool. Just
all he says is
things.
Yeah, he doesn't say much, but it was him.
But outside of the curse word spot, just like what Luke said, the bus scene when Wolverine jumps out of the bus and does classic knees up, squatting like
Jim Lee pose. Yeah.
Oh. And then you watch the video of them doing the voicing when Hugh's doing the
voice. That was so cool.
It's so great.
I think I saw that today. Yeah.
He's so animated.
The ADR,
so great.
It's just, dude, it's what a masterpiece, man. Only bummer is I wasn't sitting next to Luke in the movie. So Nate had you. So
yeah, I had to give him a garbage bag like he was at a Gallagher show.
Masturbation.
Yeah, he saw the Hulk hands come out and he knew it was time to pull up the bag.
Time to pull the umbrella out.
Luke and I saw Endgame together and we held hands.
Yeah, those were tears though. That the moistness from that was tears. That was
yeah. Get your special sock, nerds.
Well, I think that's gonna do it for us today. I don't have an outro. You can follow me at Stevie.Kicks on Instagram, sometimes on X and Threads. Gentlemen, let the listeners know where they can find you. John?
Alpha Ignition. And in my garage. That's it.
Right. Brian?
Dad Batch Pod.
Luke?
Left Coast Avenger.
And Raimi.
thedadbatch.com.
Thank you again, everybody, for listening to episode 101 of the Dad Batch podcast. Be sure to tune in next week for episode 102. And until next time, enjoy your spice responsibly.
Oh, yeah. Ooh. Yeah, John.